Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at noon. My name is Xavier Robert, coming to you live from the capital city of Akwa Ibom. Let's take a look at the headlines. Federal government to launch conditional cash transfer to 15 million households, October 17. Governors, Labour begin talks over 35,000 naira wage award. Plus, world leaders condemn Israel-Palestine war. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. First, in the news this afternoon, is Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who has flagged off its campaign for the Kogi governorship while eyeing 500,000 naira jobs from the Ajaokuta steel complex. Reports say the campaign for the exercise billed for November 11 was held in Lokoja, the state capital. Tinubu, who was represented at the event by Vice President Kashim Shettima, said the Ajaokuta steel complex would bring investment into Nigeria and boost the country's economy. The president further promised to fully harness the potentials of the complex once it is completed, as it would boost Nigeria's foreign direct investment and provide an avenue for the creation of the much-needed conducive business environment for all sectors to thrive.
I thank all of you for providing this platform and enriching our party, and for your resolve to continue to support our party towards victory come November 11, 2023. We have laid solid foundation in terms of human capital development, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of security, in terms of improved revenue generation, in terms of employment, in terms of education.
For the people of Kogi to benefit immensely from the 8-point agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For the people of Kogi to benefit from the natural resources of Kogi is absolutely essential that we should vote for a younger, a much more patriotic person who is grounded with the realities of Kogi existence. The president has just approved funds for the construction of the Ganaja Road. And be rest assured that the Abuja-Lokoja-Okene Road, the Kaba-Ilorin Road, is also going to receive federal attention. The Ajaokuta and Itakpe plans will help meet federal government's needs for the fulfillment of the 8-point agenda with respect to job creation.
In a separate development, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, says the federal government will launch the conditional cash transfer policy for 15 million households on October 17 this year. Speaking during an interview, the minister revealed that with the approval from the president, which they hope to get this week, on the 17th of October, they will be officially launching the conditional cash transfer to 15 million households in Nigeria. According to her, the ministry is working with stakeholders across the country to get a credible register of beneficiaries. On education, the federal government, through the Universal Basic Education, has secured a grant of $98 million from the Islamic Development Bank to fund bilingual education project in 9 states. The beneficiary states are Adamawa, Borno, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, and Osun. Meanwhile, the notice of procurement issued by UBEC revealed that the federal government of Nigeria received financing for an amount of $98 million from the Islamic Development Bank towards the cost of bilingual education project and intends to apply part of the proceeds from the procurement of instructional materials and supplies for the 30 bilingual education boarding schools in the 9 participating states. In another development, the Special Assistant on Public Communication to the People's Democratic Party's presidential candidate, Frank Shaibu, has alleged that the federal government had perfected a plot to gag the media ahead of the release of President Bola Tinubu's record by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Shaibu, in a statement, said Tinubu's administration had become frustrated with the Chicago State University, adding that the threat by the National Broadcasting Commission to sanction TV stations was only a tip of the iceberg. In a swift response, the ruling All Progressives Congress accused Atiku and his supporters of attempting vainly to cause a division in the media. The APC publicity director, Bala Ibrahim, chided Atiku for allegedly failing to live up to the reputation of a statesman. Now from the red chambers, where the Senate has called for the privatization of moribund oil refineries owned by the federal government. This call was made by the Senate through its Committee on Finance, chaired by Senator representing Niger East and a member of the All Progressives Congress, Sani Musa. Musa made the call in Abuja while fielding questions from newsmen on the way forward after the celebration of the country's 63rd independence anniversary. According to him, the refineries have more or less turned into bottomless pits for the government as far as turnaround maintenance was concerned. In another development, private sector operators have ruled out fresh allowances for workers following the recent decision of the federal government to increase the wages of civil servants by 35,000 naira. This came as state governors are gearing up to meet with labor unions in their states as regards calls for an upward review of the salaries of workers in states. Reports say some governors have initiated talks with labor leaders in their states with a view to coming up with a plan and proposal that will work for both parties. Meanwhile, several states, including Niger, Katsina, Gombe, Osun, and others, have expressed their intention to engage with labor on the wage award approved by President Bola Tinubu. In a separate development now, the Federal Road Safety Corps says deaths from road crashes in the country dropped by 1,118 or 23.1% in 2023 compared to the number in 2022. In a statement by its spokesperson, BC Kazim, the FIC noted that 3,730 deaths resulting from road crashes have so far been recorded this year. It, however, said this was fewer than 4,848 deaths recorded in 2022. It noted that road crashes decreased from 10,039 in 2022 to 7,830 in 2023, representing a 22% drop, and charged road users to drive safely. Electoral matters now. The Independent National Electoral Commission has expressed concern over the rising insecurity ahead of the November 11 governorship elections in Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi states. The Commission, in a statement by its National Commissioner and Chairman of its Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumelkon, also lamented that despite notices and subsequent reminders, political parties had yet to substantially submit the list of their agents. The INEC Commissioner, while appealing to political parties and their candidates to avoid actions and utterances capable of heating up the polity, said the Commission is concerned about the spate of insecurity and violence, including clashes among supporters of political parties and candidates in the forthcoming elections. Now to Africa, where the Democratic Republic of Congo's leader Felix Tshisekedi has submitted his candidacy for a second term in office, joining a crowded list of presidential hopefuls, including opposition heavyweights and a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Reports say the country is due to hold parliamentary and presidential votes on December 20. Meanwhile, Tshisekedi, who came to power after an election in 2018, officially submitted his candidacy for a second 5-year term in office in the capital, Kinshasa. Still in Africa, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's re-election campaign has announced that he had received the backing of 424 members of 596-seat lower house of the country's parliament for his bid for a third term in office. Recall that el-Sisi confirmed earlier this week he will run for a new term in elections scheduled for December, entering the race as the clear favorite and as his government wrestles with rising inflation and mounting debts.
But I'm showing you all of this for a reason. Today, many members of the international community are supporting Israel, yes. But if history has taught us anything, we know that tomorrow that may not be the case. The international community, and particularly the UN and the Security Council, have a very short memory when it comes to Israel.
Led us here. If this is about peace, then the way to it is not through further entrenching oppression and occupation, but by ending it. You cannot say nothing justifies killing Israelis and then provide justification for killing Palestinians.
Still on the foreign scene, the Taliban government has said the death toll from a series of earthquakes in western Afghanistan has risen to more than 2,000 as bodies continue to be pulled from demolished villages and buried in mass graves. Recall that more than 1,300 homes were toppled when Saturday's magnitude 6.3 quake, followed by 8 strong aftershocks, jolted hard-to-reach areas 30 kilometers northwest of the provincial capital of Herat. Reports say village households were reduced to jumbles of broken masonry, and rescue teams are digging to find bodies as well as survivors. Still to come in the news. UEFA postpones Israel matches. Let's start with this.
Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Thanks for staying tuned. On our business news, the federal government will restart the Trader Money Scheme in November, with each beneficiary getting 50,000 naira to support their businesses. Speaking in an interview, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, said the government is set to relaunch the Trader Money Scheme. According to her, the interest-free loan scheme for traders started in 2018 and has been on hold for some time. Betta confirmed that the scheme has not been scrapped, disclosing that the first set will be starting in November with one big market per senatorial district, 109 markets and traders in their shops in the markets will be given 50,000 naira as support for their businesses. So in our business news, the chief executive officers and top management staff of banks may also be probed during the ongoing investigation of the activities of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Reports say some bank CEOs will be invited in an effort to ascertain in schools to ensure compliance with the circular earlier issued by the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation to all staff in their institutions. The government, however, said the appointed contract staff would be on the same salary scale that they retired on if they desire and deserve it. Recall that the Office of the OHCSF had, in a circular dated August 30, rejected the upward review of the current retirement age of medical and dental consultants and other health professionals